Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to go over every single curse technique in Jujutsu Infinite. So this game just dropped and there's a bunch of curse techniques and you guys might be wondering what these maxed out curse techniques look like. Today I'm going to be showcasing all of them. First off, let's start off with construction. That's the C move, pistol. Then these are the M1s for construction, and then we actually have the X move, which is construction cleaver. Basically just sends you a sword. Then we have the last move, minigun barrage. So this is a pretty weak thing overall. Next up we have cloning. This one spawns 2 clones in and they basically fight for you. And it's actually pretty cool. Similar to like that one special grade technique. It's basically like spawns like isomer too. Next up we have X move, clone toss. So once you press X, this basically just tosses one of your clones off and it basically starts fighting them. Which is pretty cool. And the final move is C, clone swap. So if you press C, you can swap places with any clone in the game. It's actually pretty sick. Next up, we have tool manipulation. First up, we have knife frenzy. Next up, we have broom. This allows you to like basically spawn a broom and fly around anywhere, and it's pretty good for movement because movement's like pretty hard and it's pretty long. Finally, we have the final move, wind scythe. So you basically spawn the broom and then you send like 3 slices out to your opponent. That's pretty cool. Next up, we actually have the normal curse techniques. So I think these are uncommon. First up, we have blazing courage. So this is blazing slash, and then we have the X move, heart of fire. It's basically like creates like a nuke, and you basically just explode like fire like everywhere. And all of these moves have like burn damage. So as you can see, there's 7.9 per tick, and it's a pretty big AoE move, I think. And then we actually have the C move, fire tornado. As you can see, it just basically spawns like a fire tornado, and you have to aim this because you can miss this pretty easily. Alright, on to the next one. We should have Boogie Woogie. So this is Aotodo's curse technique, I think. My bad if I butchered the name, but that's the first thing, percussive missile. You kind of have to aim this, and then next move is X, so you just clap and then swap. And then the next move, C, is evasive swap, and it basically like dodges you in a random spot. Then we have Pebble swap. You basically aim your cursor wherever you want to hit your opponent, and then it swaps you out with them, but it hits them for damage. Then we have the B move, counter suplex. So I believe you have to get hit by this move, and as you can see, we can test it out right here. And let's just wait for it to finish cooling down real quick. And then as you see, we have it activated, and what you want to do is go to any attacking dummy or any attacking person at all. This spawns like another clone of them. That's actually pretty cool. Next up, we have blood manipulation. First up, we have blood disc. It's a pretty high damaging moveset, I think, and it's pretty decent for one of the rares. Then we have blood bind. This induces like a stun, and then you can hit them for M1s or whatever. Then we have piercing blood, which sends out like a lot of like blood bullets. And as you can see, there's blood orbs around all of them. And for every move that you hit them with, like it spawns those blood orbs. And as you can see, this is the mode. So basically, like, increases your M1 damage, increases your moveset damage, and everything. It's a pretty decent curse technique, but there's a lot better, I think. And as you see, I kind of messed up the supernova move, but if you guys can check, you guys can see the little blood orbs around all of them. And there's an additional blood orb after each time you hit them with a blood manipulation move. So let's just wait for it to cool down real quick, and once we press B, it will explode, and each of them will hit for 200 damage. So that's pretty cool. As you see, just press B, and then it should be working any second now. And just look at that, and boom. So them hit for 200. So it's actually pretty OP. But there's a lot of better techniques. Next up, we have Cryokinesis. This is basically like the ice curse technique, and this is huge AoE and does a lot of damage. And I actually really like this one because if you can't pull legendaries or special grades, you should probably use this one because it has really good stun and really good damage. Next up, we have Frost Impact. Then we have the V move, which is actually zero ice gliding. So this is the movement move, and you basically just glide around for whatever long, and then you basically move very fast. It's pretty cool. And then we have the ultimate move, which is Cryokinesis, Ice Age. So as you can see here, we just press B, and then boom. It's a huge AoE attack, and it's actually pretty good for farming because it stuns them so easily. Alright, on to the next curse technique. We will actually have the next uncommon technique, which is Straw Doll. So this is Nobara's technique, and that's the Nail Barrage. And if you actually press M1, you can actually hit them while being farther away and not even going near your hitbox at all, which is pretty cool. Then we have Pry Bar. We basically launch them in like air combo, and then you can M1. Then we have Squeaky Strike, and it spawns like a mallet, and then just basically spins them around. And then we have Mallet Smash. This is a huge AoE, huge damage move, and it's pretty decent. And then finally we have Hairpin. So what this does is the nails that you fired off in your Z move, it actually explode. So we can demonstrate it here again. But next up we have Crisp Speech Twist. So as you can see, it barely does any damage, but it does stun them and it twists them around and it negates their speed. And then we have Don't Move and it stuns them. Then we have Blast Away, which basically just propels them like super far away. Like as you can see, that dude just blasted. Then we have Explode. So whoever you use it on, it just causes them to explode. So it's 1 tick of damage. Then we have Crush, which actually just like pummels them, and that's a pretty huge damage move. And then we have Moat, which is Megaphone. So whatever moves you use, I'm pretty sure the damage is just amplified. So as you can see, and the AoE too. So as you can see, it just is like applicable on everyone. There's only a couple of moves you can use it on. Next up we have Ratio. So here's the Z move for Ratio, and this is Nanami's technique, RIP by the way. And then that's the X move, and you can use Black Flash on this if you don't know how. You can M2 and then press the move, and then that's the C move, Unwavering Out. So this is basically just like an increased damage, increased cooldown, speed, and defense mode. It's actually pretty cool because this is a highly M1 based build, and there's like barely any moves. And this is pretty sick because it increases the damage too. It's like a pretty cool thing in general, but I wish they could buff it like a little more and give it some more moves because there's barely any moves that are in the moveset. But yeah, it's mostly just like an M1 base one. Next up, we are starting to get into our first few legendaries, I believe. So here we have Judgment, and this is Gabble Smash. I actually like using Judgment, Volcano, and Hydrokinesis. They're pretty OP, and if you don't have a special grid, you can just get those. But yeah, that's the C move, Confiscation. I don't exactly know what this does, but if someone does know, make sure to comment it down below. Then we have the V move, which is Guillotine Execution. And then we have the next move, which is Objection. Actually, I have no idea what this does, and that's my apologies, but it's a pretty cool moveset. And then once your domain reaches 100%, it's the first thing with domain expansion. See, you press G, and then it starts off your deadly sentencing. So you're gonna spawn into like a court, kind of, and then you have to like pick 1 out of 3 like hands, and then I'm pretty sure like it determines the effects of the domain. Or like, yeah, you're picking rock, paper, or scissors. So as you can see, once you do that, and depending on whoever wins or whoever ties, like they're just immensely, like their damage and defense are like increased by like a lot. So as you can see, every single move is like buffed, and your defense and your damage are buffed as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much what the Judgment curse technique is like, and this is our first one with a domain expansion. On to the next legendaries. Next up we have Hydrokinesis, and the first one is Tsunami. This is a C move, and it basically is a huge AoE, high damage move. I actually love this move a lot. Next up we have Water Jet. You can aim this Water Jet actually really far away, and it hits them from really far. Then we have Piranha Spawn, which is basically and also a long distance move, and you can like aim from far away, and it has like tick damage. Next up we have Eelbind, which is like decently sized AoE move. And then next up we actually have Death Swarm. This just spawns like a bunch of fish. Like if you haven't watched JJK, the one octopus dude has this curse technique, so it's pretty cool. And as you can see, there's a bunch of fish that just spawn out and start hitting them. It's actually pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. And they all do tick damage too, so it's pretty cool when you're using this. This is a really good curse technique for PvE, so I definitely recommend using this over Volcano when you're grinding. But yeah, let's get into the domain expansion. So once you get your domain to 100, press G, and then this is the domain expansion for this. So let's get into a cool area real quick. Let's activate it. And as you can see, this is actually pretty sick domain. I actually love like the graphics. Like, they really outdid themselves here. But yeah. So as you can see, everything here, the damage is just amplified, and it also debuffs their speed and damage too, which is actually pretty cool. And this is such a clean looking domain. It's definitely one of my favorite domains in the entire game, along with the Starage one. And your moves are also heavily amplified too. As you can see, the Death Swarm, there's a lot more of it. And you have a lot more radius and everything. And this is a pretty cool curse technique. It's definitely one of my favorite ones in the game right now. But yeah, on to the next one. Alright, so next up we actually got Jogo's technique, which is Volcano. And this is the Z move. It's a super high damage move, and I actually really like it. And it's Ember flies, or Ember insects. And you can basically aim it. And then we have the V move. Wow, this is actually pretty cool. And the V move is kind of like the magma fruit from Blox Fruits. And like just lets out like a lot of magma. Then we have Volcano Fissure. And one thing that I really like about this moveset is that they all have tick damage, and they all have explosions. And here's a domain expansion, and they do so much damage. Like Jogo is like really cracked in the anime too, but they just like pair him up with the wrong guys. So yeah, this is what definitely my favorite moveset to this day. And look at the domain expansion, it's so cool. And so basically once you're in the domain expansion, everyone has 15 tick damage, which is pretty OP. And then all the other moves are boosted by like a lot. Like damage is just huge, so if you're like a big damage guy, like this is definitely like a moveset you want to check out. You can see this is what the domain expansion looks like. Looking around, it actually looks pretty cool. There's lava everywhere, there's volcanoes and stuff. And it's pretty accurate according to the anime, which is actually pretty cool. And yeah, that's everything for Volcano. On to the next one. Next up we have Starage, and next to Volcano, this is my favorite moveset and the cleanest looking moveset in the game right now. And you have this little like dragon looking thingy like floating around you. And let's start off. First up we have Jupiter. So this whole moveset does a lot of damage, and it's actually pretty aesthetically pleasing. So I actually love using this. So we have Asteroid, and then we have Starage Oberon. And this one's like a dragon move, and it's pretty good for PvP because it just like drags your opponent around. All these moves do a lot of damage, so it's actually pretty cool. Next up we have Starage Mercury. And once you use Mercury, you actually have the ability, I think it boosts like your other moves. So this is Terra. As you can see, this is a huge AoE, huge damage move. That's actually pretty cool. Next up, let's go on to the domain expansion. Alright, so here, once your domain gets to 100, this is what the activated domain looks like. And this is by far the cleanest domain in the game. It's definitely like my favorite. I love the colors and I love the aesthetic of it. And this is Yuki's technique in Jujutsu Kaisen, so it's actually pretty cool. As you can see, we have this super cool looking video game-esque, like Sonic looking domain expansion. As you can see, your damage is buffed with every single move. So every single move has increased AoE as well. Well, only the ones that are highlighted by pink. But those ones are super OP. And as you can see, this is just insane. I love this moveset so much. And this is what that move looks like. And then let's see if we could pop out a Terra. And as you can see, there's like stars everywhere. So that's actually really cool. Yeah, let's showcase the last few special grades. Alright, next up we actually have Soul Manipulation. So this is Z move, and this is that one guy's technique from Jujutsu Kaisen. But next up we have the X move. So it basically just like spawns a blade and you rush forward. And next up we have the V move, which is Flesh Drill. And you basically aim it and it basically drills them together. And every time you hit an NPC with one of these moves, it spawns like a bump on them. And then next up we have the G move, Polymorphic Isomer. And this basically spawns like a clone in, and this allows you to just like beat your enemy up. And the clone is actually pretty OP because it does 63 damage per M1 and does combos and stuff, so it's actually pretty useful. This is the domain expansion. Oh wait, never mind. This is actually the mode that you can use. So this actually buffs all your damage, I think. Oh yeah, as you can see, like this does tons of damage with this mode. And then after you do this, you can actually activate the domain expansion. So let's get straight to that. Alright, next up we actually have the domain expansion. So as you can see here, this is definitely one of the coolest domain expansions in the game right now. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And this is definitely like one of my favorite domain expansions in the game, as it looks pretty cool. And I don't know the effects of this domain expansion, probably just increased damage, but you do put like bumps on like people, and then you could use like one of the moves to like, I think it's like Distorted Inflation or one of the other ones, but it damages like all of them at once. So that's like pretty cool. Alright, on to the next curse technique. Alright, so next up we actually have Suus curse technique. So this is the first move, Dismantle. It's a huge AoE slicing move that just attacks everyone. This is actually pretty cool. Next up, I accidentally activated the fire arrow, but that's fire arrow, and then that is cleave. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's what that looks like. And then this is the mode switch. So you actually enter like Sukuna's like transformation, and your M1s are increased, and I'm pretty sure your damage is increased as well. And the fire, and just to show you guys again, this is the dismantle move again. And let's just get a domain up just so we can activate the domain expansion. and I'll re-showcase the moves in a bit. And as you can see, this is the dismantle move. Next up, we have the C move, Flame Arrow. He actually uses against Jogo. Alright, and then finally we have the X move, Cleave. So yeah, pretty cool thing. I'm gonna fast forward to when we get the domain expansion. Alright, so this is the domain expansion. It's definitely one of the coolest transformations in the game. And as you can see, once you activate it, you're slicing everyone. It's doing 30 damage per tick, and it affects everyone in the domain. And yeah, as you can see, this is just extremely OP domain expansion. And I'd actually say this is one of my favorite movesets in the entire game, next to Gojo's. And yeah, it just keeps on going for however long your opponent is active, so yeah, it's just pretty OP. Alright, on to the final next two domains. Let's get into it. Alright, next up we actually have Rika's curse technique. So here we have the first, which is a Ghastly Fist. And this is actually one of the most highest damaging movesets in the game right now. As you can see, that alone just did like 1,000 damage. Then we have Demonic Toss. It's basically blast them. Then we have this, and there's a decent amount of damage. Then we have this huge range move. In my opinion, I think this domain expansion and this moveset is actually one of the best in the game right now. Like just in PvP and everything. Next up we have the G move, which is Conjuration. This is summons Rika, increase your speed, defense, damage, and cooldown. And you basically have super cool M1s now. And they do like increased damage and everything. Just press X and then it also changes the moveset too. It's actually pretty OP. Let's just move over to the domain expansion. I was trying to showcase the maximum techniques, but it appears that my black flash was actually bugged. So it actually didn't let me get 3 focus bars, but to use your maximum technique, all you want to do is basically just activate 3 black flashes, and then you could use your maximum technique. Alright, so now that the domain's at 100, let's activate the domain expansion, Unequivocal Love. And this is definitely one of the coolest domain expansions because in the manga, it basically has the ability to copy anyone's technique. So you basically grab random katanas, and based on the katana you pick up, it has different moves on it. So you just press G to grab the katana, and it generates moves from different movesets. So you have Hakari's moveset, and then Volcanic Eruption. So you can basically use whoever's moves. It's actually pretty OP, and definitely one of the most OP in the game. And then as you can see, we can just use Hollow Purple right here, and this is essentially just a super OP domain, but it is a short lasting domain. But yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the next curse technique. Alright, so next up we actually have Hakari's technique, which is Gambler Fever. So this is the first Z move. Let's just teleport over real quick. But it basically has this short range move. It's actually the X move, Pachinko Rush, and it basically extends out like a bunch of balls. And this is the first move, Closing Curtains. It's actually pretty short range and it's not that optimal. Next up we have Cargo Haul. It's a super big block. Then we have this. This curse technique is actually super easy for combos and stuff. And it's actually very luck based, so if you can get your domain expansion open, you can actually do a lot of damage really fast. Then as you can see, that is the C move. And the X move again. So overall, a pretty good moveset. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys the domain expansion. Alright, so I don't know how I activated it, but this is the Gambler Fever domain expansion. It's actually a really cool looking technique, and I actually really like the cards and the slot machines and everything. It's actually really cool. But yeah, you can basically just do this, and all your moves are just super OP. As you can see, it's a pretty cool looking thing too. And if the more damage you do, or the more damage you receive, you can actually increase your fever meter. And once you get your fever meter to max, you can actually start dancing, then you become invincible, I think. But yeah, it's a short lasting domain though. And last but not least, let's get into the final domain expansion. Alright, so now we have Gojo's technique, the best technique in the game, which is just infinity. As you can see, this is the lapse pool. And you can chant these, but this is basically what the lapse pool looks like. Basically aim your mouse and then it shoots that. And then we have reversal red. This is the AoE move. Then we have spatial pummel. You basically aim your mouse and it drags them across. Then we actually have the V move, which is that. And that's actually pretty cool. And then let's go over to attacking dummy real quick, and then I'll showcase Infinity Mugen. This basically allows you to basically become invincible, and if someone's attacking, it basically just makes you immune, as long as your M1s aren't active. So you can just become immune to all damage, just like that. Actually pretty cool. Finally, we have the final move, Hollow Purple. Definitely one of the cleanest moves in the game right now. And does a whopping 2,000 damage. It's actually pretty cool. So yeah, that's about it. And I can't showcase the maximum technique because I'm actually, my Black Flash is currently bugged in the game right now. So I can't activate the Black Flash tokens. But if you want to use maximum technique, you want to activate 3 Black Flash tokens and then you can just do whatever. Alright, now let's just get the meter up real quick and then we should be able to activate our domain. And Unlimited Void is actually really easy to fill up, like domain wise, but you just have to wait for the cooldown. So yeah, let's just get into that. Alright, this is the domain expansion. Unlimited Void. And this is by far the cleanest domain in the game right now. And I'm pretty sure it stuns whoever's in the domain, just like it does in the anime. And you're just stuck there, kinda. And then while you're stunned, it has a super cool looking thing. And then you can just use whatever moves you want, and the damage is increased. It's actually pretty cool. And yeah, this is definitely one of the best moves that's in the game right now. But yeah, that's everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, see you guys next time.